6 billion devices makes everybody extremely excited. It's a gigantic network, and so I think the exploration of all of us is sort of what can we do with that to solve some important health and economic and other social problems.
About 500 million people worldwide need glasses but don't have them. Netra is a solution for eye tests on mobile phone.
You don't need to be an optometrist to use this. Anybody can take their own test. Anybody can manage that.
Netra is possible because we do a clever use of optics and interactive software. It works much like a 3D display, such as the new Nintendo 3DS.
So Netra is an extremely cheap clip-on that goes on top of a cell phone. You would look through it, interactively align some patterns, hit calculate, and it gives you the prescription for your eyeglasses.
While it is somewhat of a simple solution, because we're having a clip-on eyepiece on a phone, the magnitude of the problem we're hitting and the impact that could be had by this somewhat simple solution, even though there's a lot of science behind it, is quite large.
By providing very cheap eyeglasses and providing a procedure to bring those eyeglasses, we think we can impact over 500 million people who don't have access to eyeglasses right now.
What's really interesting about the project is a couple things. Is one, raw innovation. People coming up with ideas that you wouldn't have thought about. And they might not be radical ideas, they may be building upon incremental ideas, but it's coming up with a technology or solution that provides an application you never would have thought of.
It's a chance for us to look at innovations we wouldn't see normally. It's a chance for us to support them for social good, and just really exciting. One of the most interesting things I do every year.
By detecting labor early, we're opening up a whole new window of opportunity to prevent preterm birth and the negative outcomes associated with it.
Preterm birth right now essentially becomes obvious when somebody's in labor, and that's way too late.
We are using a diaphragm, which is something that's been widely studied and used in women across the world. But we're actually modifying the diaphragm with sensors to monitor the state of the pregnancy.
It stays over the cervix and detects changes that are happening silently, and it transmits those wirelessly to any Bluetooth-enabled device.
That technology is now cheap enough and scalable enough that you really can do a lot of medicine that used to be done in the hospital, in the home of the patient.
And as we know, any measure of prevention is going to be a lot more effective than trying to treat a disease that's well underway.
So I think the most innovative part is in actually creating the connection so that we have an ecosystem of solutions, just not a one-off solution, but connecting the dots. So in global health, we have a continuum of care. So there's not one single solution, but by getting a vibrant ecosystem of solutions, that's how we can make an impact.
CoolComply is a device that keeps medicines cool in remote settings and monitors adherence.
And in fact, we estimate less than 2% of people are receiving the appropriate care for multiple drug-resistant TB. And that's partly because of the infrastructure and the growing number of patients per one provider.
This little box basically gives the patients a way of storing their medicines in a cool environment over the whole 24 months of therapy, which is something they've never had. And because of the onboard electronics and wireless telemetry, it gets to phone home.
So not only is it confidential and convenient, but it allows the health worker to focus on those individuals that are having difficulty taking those medications.
And instead of having to visit every patient every day to basically get a lot of the same information, they can get it over the grid.
By enabling adequate treatment at home is not only helping the individuals with MDR-TB, it's helping prevent them from spreading it through their families and communities.
You know, wireless today was the innovation of yesterday. What I see happening is a shift from the days of building pipes, wireless pipes to communicate, to one where we now have those pipes in place and the innovation can be built on top of the pipes. The opportunity to better the lives of so many people by innovating in the areas of medicine and energy is just the wireless forte for the future.
I don't think we even know what the greatest potential is from this. We're in its infancy. We're taking small steps. But what's so fascinating and so important is that we're taking that first step.